Hi, it's Coach Sandy from Moxy Academy. This morning I'm going to illustrate how we do a typical trail run workout using our Moxy monitors. It's just a basic easy run group trail run that we do every week. The number of athletes that we'll have will be somewhere between 2 and 5 wearing their Moxy, so it'll depend on who shows up. We do this workout every week just as a recovery run. So the idea behind this is the instruction is to achieve the highest SMO2 that they can on a given day. So we will start with a walking warm-up. We move into just a gentle run, and then we hit our first hill. So along the way we'll stop and we'll take a look and see what our Moxys are telling us as individuals. We're all basically about the same age, somewhere between 50 and 57. There's some men, some women. We're all endurance athletes doing either Ironman, 50-mile trail runs, marathons, that sort of thing. So it'll be interesting to see. Number one, we'll be looking at our calibration or startup SMO2, and then we'll look at our maximum achievable working SMO2 for the day, and then see what happens as we climb any inclines or hills. Okay, it turns out that we only have 2 athletes with Moxys, so we're going to show you our calibration numbers. So Stephanie is starting at 51, and I am starting at...
I'm like the wrong person to ask, Jeff. I never come, right? Like, hi, my name is Janet.
I am starting at 65, so calibration is different when you do it in the lab and you can control what your athlete is doing. When you are out and about, it's I'll just show you. When you're out and about, it is you have to drive here, you have household chores you do before you come. So this is what we're starting with. We start off with a walking warm-up. So we're just going to try and get our blood flowing a little bit more before we hit the trail. Then we'll do a short little running warm-up before we hit our first major climb. So at each of those junctions, we'll take a quick look and see what our SMO2 numbers are doing.
Are you going to do another hop in?
Okay, Steph's up to 61, and I was up to 74 before I stopped. Now we're going to start our run.
That one was, I found serious.
So when we started running, my SMO2 got down to 44, then climbed to about 56 on the flat. Then we did a small incline and it got down to about 46. Back up to around 60. We're now climbing our big climb, and I'm down to 50-49. We walk this climb. What about you, Steph? Okay, you see it? It's upside down, but I can see it. I think it's down to 61. Okay, so we're gonna do the climb, and then we'll get back to you.
What's up to Michael?
Okay, so we finished our big climb, heading towards some single track. What's yours? Steph's at 87. I've rebounded to 75 since we hit the very, very top, but I was down around 68. We walk that incline because the instruction is this is a recovery workout, and we're only 10 minutes into our run, so we don't want to stress our systems too much before we've actually done a good complete warm-up, which for most of us is about 20 minutes. Okay, just finished the single track. I'm at 63 and I'm climbing up to 83. Steph is climbing to 83 because she's doing a walking recovery, but she got down as low as 72. Okay, so I have reached 65
gonna start biking soon?
And it's gonna start to increase because I'm standing here waiting for Stephanie to come by. So I'll just show you. We're 23 minutes in. I'm up to 81. This is the shortcut if you want to go.
You want to do a shortcut? Alright, you want to do a shortcut? Okay.
Alright.
Are you coming this way? Or
I'm just waiting for Steph.
where is she?
She's doing the long cut. There's a picture of the graph.
This way? Okay. Alright, do you want water actually?
It doesn't stay on there very long. So, as you can hear, heart rate is elevated. Just going to show you some of the terrain we're running on. Heart rate is elevated, respiration rate is elevated. So when I first started running, SMO2 drops because it's using local energy stores of oxygen. So because it's burning off what I have locally before I get anything delivered, CO2 is rising, which is raising my respiration rate. And my heart is just going to town trying to increase to start getting the required blood flow going, more oxygen to the area, delivery, so my heart rate goes up. So if you didn't have a really good grasp on heart rate and what is entailed, and you as a coach gave your athlete work at this specific heart rate, their main goal is to get to that main heart rate, regardless of what's going on. Whereas when you're looking at oxygen usage, you are primarily just trying to either increase the available oxygen, keep it steady so you're in homeostasis, or if it's an intensity run, let it decline. For this run, the only declines I want to see are on the climbs. So as I'm standing here, as Stephanie approaches, SMO2 after another incline is 58. Okay, mine is 82 while I've been standing still, 83, and my heart rate has gone down, and you heard Stephanie as she went by. There's Danielle. Okay, coming out of that section, that was all downhill running, and I should have been able to get my SMO2 into the 80s, but I ran right around 69, and the reason is that it's been pouring all night, and it continues to pour, and the terrain is kind of slippery. So let's talk pace. If as a coach I assigned a certain pace on this route, if we had been here yesterday to run when it was dry and sunny, then my athletes may have been able to maintain that certain pace because the ground would have been hard and dry, and running itself wouldn't have been an issue. They might have had an issue with hydration and electrolytes because it was hot, but my athletes are pretty good at staying hydrated, so let's assume that wasn't an issue. Their SMO2 would have been higher. A few of them ran on Friday, and their SMO2 was higher, their oxygen was higher. But today, as you can see, it is wet, muddy, slippery. So to try and maintain a certain pace is going to increase muscle tension, which decreases oxygen delivery. So the heart has to work a little bit harder to try and get more oxygen, more blood flow to the working muscles than it would normally. So instead of working in what you know as zone 2 steady state easy recovery with a higher SMO2, lots of oxygen available to convert nutrition into energy, we're now working where we either can't keep up with energy oxygen delivery or can barely keep up. So now the purpose of the workout has completely changed from an easy recovery to something that's more intensity. And that's just because we're trying to maintain a certain pace. It also changes psychologically because we would come off the course thinking, boy, that was a hard workout. And then it changes physiologically because we're not working the systems that we want to be working. So instead of going by pace, same thing if we were doing heart rate. We would slow down a little bit because we're trying to maintain a certain heart rate. But heart rate has a delay in response. So it takes longer for your heart rate to respond than your oxygen. So going by oxygen capacity, what is available to use and what you're using, you're able to make changes in the moment. So doing this little walk, even though I'm heading uphill, I am at 80 and Steph is at 92. So we just did another climbing effort, and partway up I was 45, Steph was 73, and we're continuing to walk. So what's the difference between 75 and or 73 and 45? Well, I have less oxygen available. So if at the end of this trail run, when we hit some flat ground, if we were at those numbers, Steph would out sprint me because she has more oxygen available to make energy oxygen independent. So I'd be able to pick up my pace for a little bit, and then it would either plateau, couldn't go any farther, faster, or I would slow down, where she's still able to continue. So if you think of it in terms of driving a standard car, 5 gears, right now I'm in about gear 4 and she's in gear 2. So by the time we hit the flat stretch at the end, I can go up to gear 5, but I can't stay there very long. My RPMs are going to max me out and she still has a ways to climb. So we're back in the parking lot, and Steph is up to 92, and I've turned mine off here. I'll pull mine up.
Tomorrow looks nice.
I think I laid down and had a little nap.
Are you ready to go?
And I've recovered to 77.
Okay, I'm gonna go take them to
So we finished our run. It is still pouring rain out. When we came off the single track, Steph was still 30 to 40 SMO2 percentage points higher than me, and I could feel myself slowing down as she was pulling away from me. So now that we're finished, heart rate's coming down, breathing rate's coming down, SMO2 is coming down. It'll climb. And now, just as standing, it is just starting to settle down into kind of calibration numbers.